Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do I need to move over more? Okay, and then you move over.
There we go.
So that we can be in together.
We're here.
This is a week of endurance. We must endure together.
Let's endure together.
And be disciplined.
Endure each other's company.
Yeah.
Never an endurance.
It's never, no. But we have to be disciplined in our endurance.
We do.
That is a thing. And so that's what we're focusing on today. Gevurah of Netzach.
Ooh.
So discipline / strength of endurance / consistency.
Wow.
We are looking at this. Is my endurance and determination focused to help cultivate good habits and break bad ones? Is it? Is it focused? It can be.
Yep. Can be. At least for me.
I don't know.
Sometimes it's definitely not.
Like, I tried to be really good at meditating, and I was good for like 3 weeks, and then it's like I went out of town or something, and then it never came back. And that's always almost the way things break, is because people went out of town, went on vacation, something like that, and what they got happening stopped. And I've heard like people say, if you are on like even at a conference or something, to continue your normal routine, like wake up at the normal time you would in your time zone, do the exercise thing, and then go to your conference or whatever. But like it can be hard, definitely.
Yeah. No, I mean, yes, I definitely experienced that.
Yeah. And that's normal. I don't know, it just takes a while to get good habits going.
If we look at our lives as like consistently in flux, it's not like we failed something when we break a habit, but it is like, hey, now we have this opportunity to like reinstate this habit.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, if I were to look at my life as a linear equation of like where I failed versus where I did well, I would become overwhelmingly depressed.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is that, okay, so my bat mitzvah student yesterday, whole speech about how failing gives way to success. Right? How when we miss the mark, we have the opportunity to return stronger and better. It seems like this is her entire life, because she, like, this was her parents' lesson to her. This was her lesson to everybody else. It's this endurance. And I guess the Gevurah, the strength it takes, the discipline it takes to return and endure.
Yeah, so, it's true.
Maybe this one's just in honor of her.
Yeah, the strength to be able to come back after you've fallen off. That's a thing too. Or like if you've seen Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Yeah, just like they always talk about, Spider-Man always gets up.
He always gets up.
Yeah, and so that that's a thing. Does my endurance come from? I don't like that question. Does it come from a deep conviction or out of defensiveness?
Ooh,
my conviction.
I actually like that question.
No, the first one was, does my endurance come from strength or weakness? Which I'm like, whatever. Like, but does it come from deep conviction or defensiveness?
Well, I think that's how they're defining weakness as defensiveness, because if I'm firmly rooted, okay? One of the things that I learned about in, it was a religious teaching in my like minor in religious studies, which I'm very proud of. But this was this idea that if you're a deeply rooted tree, you can bend. But if you're not deeply rooted, then you're going to fall over as soon as you bend a little bit to reach the other person.
Isn't it the other way around?
No, so the deeper my roots are, the more flexible I can be,
because I know
without being uprooted. Does that make sense?
The French fable it's exactly that, but I thought, because it's about an oak and a willow, and in a storm the oak falls over and cracks, but the willow bends. And
well, that's because of the stiffness of the tree versus the roots is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I was like, well, oaks have pretty deep roots. That was
yes. So if I'm stiff, no matter what, I'll break. Yeah. But if I have deep roots and can be flexible, that's how things are. Where the more deeply rooted I am in something, the more flexible I can be. So if I come from a place of defensiveness, clearly I'm not deeply rooted. I shouldn't be afraid when I'm confronted with something, right? When somebody confronts me with who I am or who they are, or an idea that I have or an idea that they have, and I truly hold that place, I shouldn't be afraid.
Yeah.
And if I don't hold that place, I can immediately tell that I don't know how to respond if I feel fear. If I feel fear and anxiety, I immediately know that I don't have a good answer. And if I don't have a good answer, instead of responding from defensiveness, I need to stop and listen. I need to really listen, because there's nothing that says I need to answer you right now. There's nothing that says I have to be certain right now. People are growing constantly. So
that's so good. Yeah, like I've definitely done a lot of work, but I suddenly was remembering a friend of mine talking about their dad, like just the idea of because this was him being like, because his wife asked to get his purse, or like anytime when men are asked to like get a tampon or something, and he like held it like the purse like this,
He's
like
afraid.
it's like he's afraid of his catching feminine energy from the purse. And so it's like, if you were truly rooted in yourself, you wouldn't be afraid
Right.
of touching a purse or a tampon. But so like back to me, like that has nothing to do with me. I think that I'm learning this. Like it's definitely come a lot, like a lot of I know like who I am kind of stuff, but there has been like a lot of defensiveness. I don't know why I feel I have to prove when people are like, for example, I think of this memory in high school where it's like I like rubbed up against someone else's car, and so like it was somewhat of an accident, but anyway, like the police there were just like treating me like a stupid teenager, and like because one of them said she's just happy to get out of class, and I was like, I defended myself in that moment, and I was like, I like English or whatever, because that was the class I had left to be like called down to the parking lot. And but like why I feel the need to defend myself,
Well,
I don't know, because it's just dumb. I get tired of people being dumb, and so it's like I want to change them, I think, more. I don't know if I'm like defending myself more, or if I'm like more worried about.
Well, there's this concept of like, if you've constantly had to like prove you exist in the way that you exist, in the right that you have, like as a person, to be who you are, you're responding to a lot of criticism and a lot of critique. And so that makes a person naturally defensive, because you feel like you have to prove in order to take back space. But the encouragement is, instead of being concerned about what it is that they think, you're concerned instead about who you are and how you show up, not how you're perceived, but how you show up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being defensive is a very natural reaction, because when you're attacked, that's how you're going to feel, defensive.
Yeah. I think about this one acting class too, where the teacher, he was like, why do you always have to like tell me your reason for doing things? And I was like, because I want to know I want you to know where I'm coming from.
Right.
Isn't that the point? Like that, like you understand where my character came from or something? And because he was like, why can't you just do what I tell you? Or like, and I thought that was kind of unfair. I don't know. Like I understand like, yeah, that in a filming scenario or something, that the actor's not supposed to fight the director, but this was a class, like it's supposed to be a safe space, I thought. And like, maybe if he understood where I'm coming from, then he can help me move on to some better choice from there, instead of
Like,
just
he can
telling
help
me
you wrap your head
instead
around
of
it.
telling me what to do. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that.
It sounds like your teacher was not teaching to but was rather teaching to direct. Their goal in that moment was different than yours, and that's unfortunate, because if, as a teacher, one of the things I care very much about is, in my interaction with students, is making sure that whatever their needs are, those are met, so that we can grow together, rather than me imposing my will upon the class so that they get to where I want them to get, if that makes sense.
That's true. Another question. Am I ever tenacious out of stubbornness and an unwillingness to acknowledge errors?
I have been.
Yeah, I have been, but I'm never, I don't mind saying, oh yeah, sorry, I was wrong. Like that's never been hard for me. Some people really can't, they hate being corrected, and like for the dumbest things. When I don't know, like I was recounting a memory with someone, and they were like, yeah, and you lost your hat when we were running for that bus, and I was like, actually it was a train, and they were like, why do you have to do that? And I was like, well, it makes a difference to me.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like I don't mind when I'm wrong. I don't think that I'm ever like stubborn or tenacious about not wanting to acknowledge errors.
I've actually gotten really good at that, at acknowledging when I'm wrong, because it brings me such a deep sense of comfort to be wrong. I know that sounds silly, but my brain goes to really, really mean and scary places sometimes in my head. And the unfortunate reality is that I've experienced a lot of those things, right? That's the unfortunate reality of like having PTSD and things like that, is the places your brain goes, they make sense because you've been there. And instead, what has happened is every time I'm wrong, I ask the people around me to remind me deeply that I was wrong in this moment, because then I can teach myself, no, I'm not always right. The things that I think are not always how things are going to be.
Yeah.
So I have a deep, deep sense of comfort and safety in being wrong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can agree with that.
Like,
Like the idea that it's like not every. oh, I messed up their coffee order. Now they're gonna hate me and they're gonna like spew me all over the internet and think it's like no, maybe this person's just really like okay, whatever, I'll drink it anyway
Love being
or
wrong about
something.
how
Yeah.
much people are gonna hate me. I
Yeah,
love
I
that.
know. Like, 'cause, yeah, I definitely overreact where it's like they say one sort of critical thing and I'm like, they hate me now. They're never gonna like me again and I should just like hide every time I see them from now on. But like no.
But we're never that. It's
Yeah.
never that.
Yeah. So that's a good question.
Yeah, I love that question.
One more. Do I use my endurance against itself by being tenacious in my lack of determination? Am I like enduring to be not enduring or whatever?
There are definitely some people that I've met who
love-
who are convinced that everything goes wrong for them. Like no matter what, it
Yeah.
goes wrong for them, and they are so stubborn in that belief that things go wrong for them
They don't try.
that they don't try or they self-sabotage. And they see everything as a reflection of how things have gone wrong for them, rather than not being so stubborn in that idea, and instead being stubborn in the idea of I know how to make things work even when things go wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like being a make it work kind of person.
I have fallen into this a little bit because everyone I think does at some point this.
Oh, of course.
Because what gets in the way is perfectionism, like imposter syndrome, and the other thing, a fear of success.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's like sometimes I don't do all the work that I should because I'm like, I guess I am subconsciously like afraid of what will happen if I am successful and I'm too busy and stuff, so I just don't do anything, and so instead I complain and be like, I'm not getting any jobs, but even though I'm not even trying, like I'm like, what's the word, intentionally not trying to like do more marketing or something like that. So it's in a way it's like I lose the ability. I should stop complaining. I need to lose the ability to complain because
you need to lose the endurance
yeah,
of complaining.
That's true. I need to, or
Me too.
I need to stop the endurance of my being lazy or my perfectionism. Like, I'm making this really long. It's like the biggest project I've ever worked on with embroidery right now, and my perfectionism is so much getting in the way. I'm like, this side doesn't look like the other side, and I should just throw it away now and like never finish it. And so that's such an exercise in getting past perfectionism.
Yeah.
And I should just do that with my emails too.
I'm so bad at emails for that exact reason.
Well, like cold emailing, I mean, like marketing emails.
Well, I'm just bad at sending any emails for that reason. I just immediately, I'm like, what if they look at this and they think I'm stupid?
Yeah.
In reality, like, I am stupid. It's fine. Like, I'm also highly intelligent, but like, sometimes I'm wrong.
There was this one lady at a voiceover conference where she was just like, you need to treat it as in, can so-and-so come out to play? And that's all it has to be, your marketing emails, and just be like, hi, like, I'd love to play with you guys. I hope you'll play with me too. Bye. Or whatever, and see if they respond. And so I need to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Just an email.
Yeah. Good. Exercise for the day. Break one bad habit today.
Ooh.
One thing, I don't know how I'm gonna, like, I bite my lips a lot. I don't know how I'm gonna stop that. I used to bite my nails so much, and the way I finished doing that was painting them and filing them. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for my lips, because you can't really paint and file them. Even if I had...
I mean, you could paint and file them,
you
but
could
you shouldn't.
lipstick them, but then lipstick gets everywhere. That's the reason I don't wear it. And
it does get everywhere. Maybe you need like a matte lip, like a really good matte lip.
What is that?
So like it's a lipstick that dries like completely flat.
Okay.
And so it doesn't get anywhere.
I could try it out.
You should try it and see if it works for you.
Just for like, I don't know, several months, because it did take literal years to stop biting my nails. But that's what...
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a huge accomplishment.
You have a bad habit that you want to quell?
Yeah, I want to stop biting my nails.
Okay.
Constantly doing it.
Yeah, no, the filing really, because it's like, just like yesterday we focused on chesed, giving love to them. Like, that's what made me stop doing it, because it's like, I
but I'm like
loved
also
on
actively
them.
sitting here picking at them. Like, as we're doing.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know, because at that point I started to like rub my nails, like just as a feeling thing instead of like pick. So it's
That's
like there's
good.
something to, if I find myself biting, I'll be like, no, and then just start rubbing them.
Okay.
As some kind of like weird texture thing.
That's all right. That works. Yeah. I'm going to try. I'm going to start painting my nails so that I don't bite them.
Yeah, or at least filing. Because for me, it was like the OC. I was like, they're not even, and so I would bite them more to make them even.
Funny.
Yeah. But so, it's finished. So go break a bad habit.
Do it.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.
Bye.